Hello and welcome to a new series called Ixion. I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a new game, just came out recently on Steam. I've been waiting for this game for such a long time. I played the demo. I do know how to play the game, kind of. I've gotten reasonably far with the demo. I don't think I got that far. I'm just gonna change the audio a little bit, just make it a little bit softer. I still want the music. This is good. 30%, that's fine, that's fine. Alright, this is pretty much a city builder set in space. It's a mystery kind of apocalyptic kind of dystopian kind of thing. So this is what you live in. It's a massive structure in space. This is also where you have to build in. So what is the idea behind the game? The game is pretty much set in the future. Humanity is about to use a kind of an engine. A voxel engine. It's going to be able to speed this monstrosity into space, the speed of light, and cover vast distances. The problem is, of course, that something really nasty happens, and we have to find out what and try and survive its after effects. Anyways, let's get into the new game. So let's put a new game first.
Launch control, we have Tiqqun clearance for shuttle launch. Initiate Stanford protocol.
Clean procedures, check. Guidance go.
EA algorithm online.
Batista safety protocol, check.
Launch control to EMB Charon. All systems are go.
Launch is imminent. Personnel are instructed to evacuate the launch pad. Tiqqun to EMV share. You have clearance for final approach. EMV share. You have been assigned to Tiqqun docking bay. Welcome on board, passengers. Shuttle EMV Charon is now docked. Sector 1 empowered and pressurized. Munchie decontamination protocol online. Disembarkation authorized. Message to crew members. Welcome on board the Tiqqun, property of Dolus Aerospace Engineering Corporation. You will soon be given your assignments, but until then, please continue to wait near the docking bay. We hope you have a productive voyage, and would like to thank you for your contribution towards humanity's future. Administrator, I am Eden. the personal assistant installed on board the Tiqqun.
Oh,
In
hello, Eden.
accordance with the Munchie Protocol, I have been designed to take into consideration your complete psychological profile so that I may more accurately respond to any needs you may have. My primary purpose is to ensure the Tiqqun's automated systems function efficiently. I will keep track of the tasks that are necessary for you to fulfill your prerogative of reaching Proxima Centauri and carrying out field research, mining operations, manufacturing protocols, and Dolos colonization tests.
Alright. So, the game is basically very simple. It's similar to any other kind of city builder that you've played. There are resources that you can gather. There are paths and roads that people have to take. So it comes down to you have to just connect these places up. Make sure that people have a path that they can take to get to where they have to get. And get started on basically collecting everything that you can. So now the problem is, of course, that this material here is in the way of pretty much everything. So we want to first get rid of all this stuff up here, because this is pretty much in the way. There won't be any roads until we have put down a quick little workplace. So I'm gonna go put a workplace up here. The arrows point to where the exit has to be. These arrows need to be pointed towards a road segment or anything else that resembles a road path. So pathway. We'll put that down. That will immediately let this little robot thing come out, and he will just go around building all the rest of the roads, placing everything up.
Administrator, I wanted to introduce you to your first tasks person.
This guy's so annoying.
I'm Dolos' cryonics lead, Marduk council member Giovanni Battista.
Stop eating, man, while you're talking to me.
Let's see.
Why is he
Your
eating an
first
apple?
objective
I'm not sure
will
what
be to
he's
begin
eating.
setting up essential infrastructure aboard the Tiqqun, meeting the environmental conditions that are required to support your crew. Having laid these foundations, you will then oversee the installation of the Vol engine and perform a short test jump to Proxima Centauri. Upon arrival, your research teams will carry out a brief survey of local space, gather a few rock and coal dust samples, fire up the colonization protocol, begin building the foundations for mankind's future, yada yada yada. And then you'll come back.
Is he actually eating an apple? I'm not sure.
In order to achieve this, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the Tiqqun's core functions. It's no big deal. There's the production, stockpiling and distribution of resources, construction, balancing of power output with allocation. Oh, and space exploration, setting out expeditions and all that. Basically, everything needed to establish scientific advancement and harmonious autonomy on board the Tiqqun following the first test of its Vol engine. Eden's gonna display and keep track of your main objectives. Oh, and Administrator, don't let the position go to your head. Veneer has insisted to center Dolos' focus on the Tiqqun, but this mission is just in preparation for our next project, the Protagoras. The Marduk Council worked damn hard to pull this mission together ahead of schedule. So, toe the line, do as you're told, and bring the Tiqqun back in one piece. Leave the grand gestures and saving of mankind from ecosystemic destruction to us, okay? One last word of advice. We don't all think like Veneer Dolos. As of yet, no human law has been officially established amongst the stars. That sounds like an opportunity knocking to me.
Alright, well, let's close Justin's mission. The guy talks a lot. Anyways, let's get into the game. So, I just put down a workshop here. This allows me to build these roads and pretty much build anything else. All the buildings and so on require a workshop to be built. Then we have these little stockpiles around here. So we have iron. This little symbol here shows 20 iron. It shows 60 food. 20 iron over here. We got some more iron. A whole bunch of iron over here. This is polymers necessary for shipbuilding and pretty much everything else that requires plastic. And that's pretty much everything we get in the beginning. This is our docking bay, and this allows for construction of ships. So if we wanted to put down any kind of a ship and so on, we can construct it here. We also need some space over here for additional airlocks and everything else. Then we have up here, we have our storage. Pretty much everything that shows how much we have of everything. We don't have any iron that can be produced into alloy. We don't have any carbon that can be produced into polymer. We don't have any silicon that can be produced into electronics, and we don't have any hydrogen that can be produced. Well, hydrogen is for fuel. Waste, we don't have any of that. Ice, we don't have. We don't have any food. We don't have any cryopods, and we don't have any science. So we have a population of 85 personnel, mostly workers. They are. Yeah, we don't have any non-workers. We don't have any colonists. That kind of stuff. We need all this stuff. Now we have this yellow bar here gives us energy. How much energy we have? We have 44 available. We have 16. We are using 16 energy out of 60 currently. Let me just move that into so you can actually see that. We also have our trust meter. Now this energy bar is kind of important. If we use too much energy, pretty much everything else in the system here on on Tiqqun shuts down until we restore energy again. So we can do that by either building external energy sources using this system over here. So we can technically build something as soon as we have an EVA outlook. We can build more solar panels, and then if we have the new rocket engine or the light speed engine, we can travel further out of field. We also have, when we have a science ship, for instance, we can move them from place to place, a place of interest. So these little events, these little symbols here show us where there's a bit of interest. We also have a ship in orbit around Earth called the Urusanabi. This is a supply ship. We can get some supplies there. It has 12 food, and it continuously gives us more food as the game progresses. Well, this scenario at least. But then we have hull integrity. Hull integrity shows us how far we are from collapse. If this number goes to 0, the entire ship here, this puppy, just basically just blows up, and then it's end of the game. Trust also, if we lose too much trust, we'll go from 65 to 0%. The crew will mutiny, and I will be killed. And somebody else will take our place and then continue the journey. So we don't want that. We want to keep the trust high. We want to keep the hull integrity high. We want to keep as much energy of ours going, and we want to keep our people alive. Food is important. Alloy is important because we don't have any alloy. We won't be able to build anything. Polymers are pretty good. Silicon is pretty good. But the most important ones are, of course, food, alloy, and personnel. Sciences comes later. Then we have our sectors. So we are currently in Sector 1. We have Sectors 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all around us. We can't open this up yet because, well, they're locked, and they're supposed to be locked until a certain event is triggered. When that event is triggered, this sector here will unlock, or will give us the option to unlock. It will cost us a bit of materials and people, personnel, to unlock. And then we will have another sector available for building, which is quite great. Current status of the crew is happy. Everybody seems to be nice and trustworthy. Well, they trust us at least. They are okay. Everybody's conditions are optimal. Everybody seems to be happy. We don't have any water at the moment. Consumption of power, and we have batteries once we are actually able to build batteries. Now the thing is, as soon as we are away, or if we transfer from an orbit, from the Earth for instance to the Moon, or from Earth to Venus, any kind of orbit whatsoever, the system shuts down its power supply and basically uses all the power to move. Then we have our item construction panel. This is basically where we can use to build anything. We want to build a quick little stockpile, so let's go ahead and put one down. I don't want to put one here. Actually, it's fine. This is perfectly fine. So put a stockpile there. I need to stockpile iron. So wait, can we cancel this? Cancel this? Yes, I want to dismantle this building first, and I want to remove this road here because I don't really need it. Space is a bit of an issue in this game, so we want to keep as much of the space as possible in use. And that's the main difficulty. So the space, we have such a limited amount of space, and if we want to expand and get more space, it will cost us. So that's the base of the game. If we want to put anything in the stockpile, we have to select what we want. We want to put alloy in here, so we can start extracting all this stuff, harvesting all this material. I want this entire area here cleared, because I need this space for later when we start building an airlock here or over here. So I need all this alloy here removed. I also have some polymers over here on this side that we don't have a stockpile yet for, but we will get that eventually. Anyways, let's get into the game. We have to collect 40 alloy.
Administrator, I have established a connection with Dolus's lead data scientist, Emma Klein.
Hello.
Administrator, Mr. Dolos has made it abundantly clear when it comes to security. Given the importance of the Tiqqun, we must have full control over what is happening inside the station. My name is Emma Klein, Dolos' lead data scientist and member of the Marduk Council. My department have just completed final synchronization between Eden and our data treatment tool, the DLS. The DLS, or Data Listening System, is capable of scanning, recording, and parsing exchanges of any kind. The DLS programming that is a part of Eden will filter all data collected and bring to your attention only the most relevant information. It will also provide you with a condensed overview of any situations that may arise and formulate potential future outcomes. It will permit you to give direct orders without having to go through additional unnecessary paperwork. Eden will then take care of everything via their DLS accreditation. As is often the case with tools produced by my department, I think you'll find that once you start using the DLS, you'll never be able to do without it. Oh, and before I let you go ahead and start writing history, Dr. Munchie, our lead medical expert, wanted me to bring to your attention a possible side effect of vol jumping. Whilst there is a correlation between prolonged space travel and the development of early onset dementia, he believes that a vol jump has the potential to accelerate this process, although this is yet to be proven. His recommendation is for you to immediately send any crew members that are exhibiting uncharacteristic or symptomatic behavior to an infirmary, as these facilities are equipped to treat the mind as well as the body. Remember that all of your actions and choices are being recorded by Eden. We are not affiliated with any national or even international organizations. The only people that you are answerable to are those of us who sit on the Marduk Council, who represent the collective interests and ambitions of the company.
Okay, that's kind of evil, but okay.
So
basically that means they are in charge. I have absolutely no hope of whatsoever of being able to fight any kind of situation I get into. So any kind of international rules or regulations I violate, subject to, of course, the Dolos company. So they can basically just tell me to do whatever I want to do, or they want me to do. So anyway, they're in charge. But for now, that is. Alright, so what do we need? We need to have, we have a little bit of a community thing that we have to do. They want us to do something, so the crew can ask us requests. So they currently are a little bit annoyed. Kind of dirty for scientists and engineers, but anyways. Administrator, Tiqqun crew members are currently unable to access food supplies. Millitant protocol directs the construction of a mess hall. This building is designed to distribute food from our stockpiles to the crew. Guaranteeing access to food supplies would reaffirm their competency as an administrator. Alright. Basically, this gives us a little in mission that we have to do. Now we can always, of course, ignore these, we can cancel them, but we have to keep our food or our people reasonably happy. If we don't, we will lose trust and eventually die. Right, there we go. We got ourselves a beautiful communal mess hall. I'm going to have to put the food that we need in there as well. So let's go ahead and start harvesting this food. So as soon as we have the mess hall built, we can start feeding our crew, which is kind of important. We want to have our crew alive. If they are starving, they will lose trust and be unhappy. We want them to be happy, because happy people are productive people. Anybody that is not happy can be kind of annoying. Let's put it that way. Can be kind of threatening and dangerous. Let's go harvest this polymer over here as well. Now this is all the materials that we have at the moment. We will not get any more until we start mining in a future mission. But for now, we have to do what we got here. This will be fine. This is more than enough.
Administrator, I have an incoming transmission from Marduk Council member Henry Bargeville.
Really? Okay, well, let's see what he has to say.
Bonjour, Administrator.
Bonjour,
What a
monsieur.
wonderful day to embrace our fate, don't you think? I am Henri Bargeville, writer, philosopher, lobbyist, but most of all member of the Marduk Council. I have taken the liberty of personally arranging an exchange, out of courtesy with the Oceanabi, a ship in high orbit belonging to one of our commercial allies, the Ashtongites. Even though they are a small organization, the Ashtongites are important partners who share the same pragmatic, moralistic, and spiritual outlook as we do. The Oceanabi will provide us with a source of food whilst carrying out the Tiqqun's initial testing. By making it the first exclusive trade partner of the Tiqqun, we will demonstrate to our long-term allies that Dolos wishes for them to share in our successes. Please assign a cargo ship so that we can check the trade routines. Administrator, trust in genetic connectors. Self-similar space will reveal the pattern.
All right, you're a mysterious man, but thank you. Basically, he gives us the opportunity to start constructing our little cargo ship. So we want to have a cargo ship. This cargo ship will give us the ability to actually start moving cargo from our supply ship in orbit. This is here and somewhere else, pretty much, and get us some more food. We need this because eventually the food that we have here is going to run out. We only have 43, and we have 8 in the mess hall. So eventually, all this food will just die out. We don't want that. We want that to continuously keep feeding everybody. So we have the fleet management screen. We have our mining ships, and we have our cargo ships. Now the mining ships only go out when there's actually something to mine. So currently they don't have anything to mine. So that's kind of it would be important to have this. But anyways, let's go ahead and set up our food delivered. So we want to have a cargo ship. So we'll wait until it's built. Once it's built and constructed, we'll be able to actually set it out to go and get our food, which is kind of important. We want to keep on getting food if we want to stay alive, that is. And I think everybody wants to stay alive. We also have another one of these events. Let's go check out what they want. Manager, some crew members are lacking quarters. Alright, so we need to give everybody a quarter. Ensure all crew quarters within 12 cycles. That is possible. We should be able to do that. There are more pressing resources needed. We can say this, and then they'll get a little bit angry, and we'll lose some trust. But we will just go ahead and say we will ensure crews are quartered within 12 cycles. That shouldn't be too hard. 12 cycles is basically the number of time. We are currently sitting in 16th cycle, and we have until, well, 28 cycles to complete this little mission here. It's not that bad. So we have a population set up. We have space. This is the docking bay. We already have a docking bay, so we don't need to build one. We have a factory. Sorry, this is a tech lab for technology. We will need to build this later on. We have population, we have crew quarters, and we have an infirmary, and we have food, the mess hall currently. So if we have any other kind of structures, we will need to research that in the tech lab. They will get displayed here, and we'll be able to build that. So we have a ship finally available. Look, it's right there. Bye-bye ship. So that's called, that ship. This one is called, wait, what are you called? I don't remember what you called. The Gruber. It's called the Gruber. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. We'll leave him to do his thing. Let's put him up to setting up. Go get me some more of these resources. He will go out and fly out to the Ursunabi and gather 12 stock of food and bring that back to the ship, which we need. Right? That's the only way we can communicate with it as it stands. So okay, there we go. That screen's gone now. So he just brought back a couple of more of these, a little bit of food supplies, perfect. And we will just leave that for now. Let's go get started with the crew quarters. So I need to make some space over here because I want this area over here used for space for crew quarters. Let's go to population. Let's go put a crew quarter item here. Boom. Oh wait, it's just still something in the way. I have to wait until that's gone. So you have the option of building these crew quarters. Now they have arrows on pretty much every side. So basically, you can put them in a corner like that, or put them anywhere, and you'll just be able to hook them up to pretty much anywhere. Let's go ahead and put them there. One there, and then one there. Perfect. So now this building over here will not function unless there's a road to it. So we have to build one so that we can actually access it. Giving us also immediately access to this material over here, and this will give us a little bit of space. Now in this crew quarters, only 15 crew can actually live, so we built 4 of these. So we have space for 60 people, and we have 85 people, 84 currently. I think somebody left. So we need a couple more of these buildings. But no big deal. We'll start removing this this space over here. We'll clear some more space, and then we'll get some more buildings put down. Now we do have some space over here, but I want to keep that space for something else. So we have. I do want to put down another one over here. Should we do that? I'm kind of wondering if I should. Are you gone yet? I need to harvest this stuff. Let's just wait until these buildings are built, and then we will go nowhere. Alright, so we have all the food delivered. We need another thing that we have to build is a science ship. This will give us the ability to actually go out there and do science. And science is kind of important. Science is what we use to investigate events outside in space, and also to go and discover new things. Well, later on we'll have the ability to make probes, and that will give us the ability to actually go and find materials that we can mine, which are very important for our existence and future prospects. Alright. Science ship is almost done. Now we are slowly running out of food, which of course I don't like. I don't like running out of food. I don't like that at all. So I want to get a little bit more space available. Right now, let's check if we have enough space for the tech lab. We do. So we can just turn it around and position it right there. That means I have to get rid of you and you. And that will give us the space that we need. I want this quarter here for the tech lab. So I want this space here for the technology, for the tech lab, so we can have all the rest of the remaining stuff and so on. Very high importance materials and so on, science, research, and everything else over here. And factories. And then we'll leave my crew over on this side. Alright, that will be it. Now we just need to wait until the crew has built everything. Alright, there he goes. Done. So we'll remove that. And we have a science ship coming up. Look at it. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's gorgeous. It's too bad that I can't really zoom in on it without actually triggering it. There we go, like that. So we can see how it's being constructed. Little pieces by little pieces. I'm thinking it's getting constructed like a 3D printer. It's 3D printed. That's what it looks like. It's a beautiful frame. And then once it's at the top, it'll finish. And then we can send it out to go and do science stuff outside of the ship. Alright, there he goes. Perfect. Alright, that's almost done. And this is we have now some space for our tech lab. Let's go ahead and put that down. I want to turn it around a little bit like that. I want this space used for the tech lab right here. And then I want a road to go directly in front of it, like so. Excellent. Now we'll get rid of this material over here as well later on. We can, of course, put down another one of these beautiful little stockpiles, which we will do straight away. We'll need more steel, so more alloy. So I want another of these little stockpiles here to get us some more alloy. Right, now we have 5.9 cycles left to build the remaining. I'm not quite sure how many more. We lost some people. Apparently our population seems to be dwindling. It's a bit annoying. Alright, let's put some more population. Let's put some more crew quarters in here. Boom. And there. 2 more of you. Gives us an additional 30. Should push us directly over the cap that we need. And that will complete the quarters thing that we have. Let's also put us on high priority. So we make sure that we have this done as soon as possible. We don't have any more alloys. So I'm going to go and specify that they have to harvest this material over here. And potentially also that. There we go. That will keep on being harvested, and eventually we will have enough materials to build everything, including the tech lab over here. Should be good. Alright, let's leave that alone. Let's go check out in space what we can do now. We have the sensitivity. This is our science ship, and we have the ability to actually move it to Mars, to the moon, basically all the way over to Saturn as well if we wanted to. It tells us how long it's going to take, 1.5 cycles. Which we don't really have. I wanted to move it to the moon so we can get started on that little quest there. So there's stuff that is built around in the solar system. This is like science labs, bases.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
Why, thank you. I was just talking about that. Alright, so the science lab has found that there's a base here. There's a moon base. built some time ago by the UN probably. The base is out of commission. Auxiliary systems are operational and can be used to restore power. We have reached the UN base. It's abandoned and depressurized. The surveillance systems are still operational, awaiting orders. So we can dismantle the base and just get the resources we need. Or we can spend a little bit more time and exploit the security vulnerabilities and get some more science out of it. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and collect all the science we can. We'll leave it here. It's going to take 1 cycle to complete. So let's go back in the ship. Let's see if we can get this built before this is all done. Before our 4.2 cycles are over and up. And we get into a little bit of trouble. No big deal. We can also speed up. So we have these little arrows over here. We can go from fast speed to very fast speed. Basically that means that everything gets built really, really fast. And the cycles go back really fast too. So it's kind of annoying. You don't want to have this a lot. Eventually once things start to hit the fan, things start to explode and you have multiple sectors to control, the pause button is going to be very important. Alright, quarters, we have done that. We have gotten everybody a quarter. Everybody's living in these places.
The team has completed a task.
Oh, thank you. It's good. So, once we click on, if we click on one of these crew quarters, we can see who's living in them. So currently we're seeing that a whole, this building over here only has 4 people in it. This one has 15 out of 15, so they're pretty much full. So all my people are currently nice and happy. Just leave that alone for now. I'm going to wait until the stockpile here is completed and we can get started with moving some more of this alloy out of these little spaces over here and into our stockpiles, which is kind of important. We want that gone. We want the space that is currently occupying, and we need that for buildings for future sites. Alright, let's leave that alone. Tech lab is currently being constructed. We'll leave that alone as well. Let's go into space and check out what our science lab has found. So, our little science lab, the sensitive, has discovered we hacked into the main computer system as ordered and retrieved several relevant research papers and datasets. Excellent. We got a little bit of research, 10 in total, that we can of course extract and then bring back to the ship, which is important if we want to have any kind of chance to research anything. Alright, so that's done. This is basically a summary of what has happened since we came to the moon. We don't need to, you can read through this again if you want to, but we're going to go ahead and dismantle the base. That will give us a bunch of resources that we can use for construction, and we can send our shuttle, our little mission, or a little cargo ship to go and get. Now, of course, you can't get any research science. That comes from the science ship. Once it comes back, once it returns, that's what we get. Alright, excellent. So it takes a little bit of time for the science ship to actually get that. It takes 10 cycles, or 10 units of time, before we have the science collected. And then once we have that collected, we'll be able to actually exploit it and use it for ourselves in the tech lab that we are currently building. Once the tech lab is built and available, we can check out the tech tree and see what other new things we can actually go ahead and build. Alright, so this is a very important thing. If you have only one workshop, meaning you only have one of these puppies over here, one of these little build machines, that means you can only build one building at a time. You don't want to have too many of them, but I think, in my opinion, having 2 of them is an advantage. So let's go ahead and build one more of those. That way we can build 2 buildings at a time. And it will make it that we can actually construct things way faster, because as the missions progress, right, this is very important, as the missions progress, the events that we have give us fewer and fewer amount of time, fewer and fewer cycles to complete. Just kind of makes it, that's what makes it difficult. Alright, we have another event down here, or another event. It's more of a warning. There are no active health buildings in Sector 1. 0 crew members are injured, but we might need to build something for our population, so they can actually, if they need to, they can go to the infirmary and get healed up. Now, I do want to build this. In some cases, this is important. If your crew members get hurt, just like in most other games, if your crew members get hurt,
a science ship team has completed a task,
and they die, you simply lose a resource, and your resource population is finite currently. Once we get into space and we can start moving around and discover things in the later game, we'll be able to actually get more crew members. But for now, this is pretty much the only population that we have, and we need to do with what we have with that. Alright, the base has been dismantled. Although most equipment was damaged, we are able to prepare some usable resources for extraction. So we got 30 iron, or iron alloy, and 90 science. So we'll go ahead and gather that science. So you can do a little countdown here. That's the science that's being gathered by the ship. Once that's completed, we can move it on over to Mars or on to Saturn. But for now, this is pretty much it. Now, our food stocks are lowering. We haven't gotten any more resources from the Ursunabi, so that's pretty much it. So we have to make sure that we have anything that we have in food-wise, we need that immediately discovered. Let's go to the tech lab. Let's check out the technology tree. So this is the technology tree, and as you can see, we can expand several layers outwards, and every single one of these things has an additional upgrades that we can also acquire if we have them unlocked or if we have enough research points. Currently we have 32 research points, so that means we can have we can research one or two of these things. So we have the probe launcher, which allows us to start looking into getting some resources. We have the EVA airlock, which is important because we need that for constructing the outer solar panels, and eventually the rocket engine we'll need to move faster than the speed of light. The Vol engine, or I don't know what it's called anymore. And we have the insect farm. The insect farm is important. We need this as soon as possible. This gives us the ability to make food. So let's go ahead and research the insect farm.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
Oh, really? Okay, well, there we go. Got another event. Administrator, reports are being received relating to Barjaville Klein optimization protocols on board the Tiqqun. They indicate that crew members are being overworked. Although Dolos' employment contract makes it clear that a high degree of flexibility is required, the situation is beginning to take its toll on morale. So if we have a small crew, so 70 people, 79 people, and if we overwork them, we'll get into trouble. So we have two options here. We can work fewer hours by saying that we have to just keep working anyway. It's the humanity that profits from it, or we can request more staff from the Ursunabi. So we're going to go ahead and request more staff. Just increase our population a little bit more. Bring in new workers. Yeah, sure. We'll bring in some new workers from the Ursunabi and get them in here as soon as possible. We'll move our shuttle system, a shuttle ship, or our what's it called again? What do you call it again? This is a it's a what do we do? It's a mining ship. I don't want. Okay, fine. No worries. Move that cargo ship in to go and get this this crew. So that means we now have a couple more people. So you can see our number of people is going up to 99, and eventually that will end up going to 110, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and put some more iron ore or alloy into our stock and clear out some more of the stuff here. Perfect. Also start collecting all of this material over here. Perfect. That will get done. We have an infirmary built. We have our tech lab built. We have these materials here. So let's go and get all the signs from the moon. We have to get 70. We're currently sitting at 74 out of 90, and then we'll have that event also completed. In the meantime, I would like to get started on seeing how far are we with research. So you can see the research is moving along nicely. 52%, 53%. We need that to complete, and then we can build some new buildings. Kind of important. Factories coming along nicely. Food. We need to get some more crew quarters, because eventually we'll have more crew, and they will not have any more buildings to live in. See, you can see there are a bunch of them are homeless.
I have an incoming transmission from Dolus's head of medicine, Dr. Abhinav Munshi.
Hello, Munshi. Let's see what he has to say.
Greetings, Administrator. I'm Dr. Abhinav Munshi, Dolos expert in compartmentalism and medicine, and a member of the Marduk Council. I'm glad to finally meet you, even in this digital manner. Your psychological test results were quite impressive. My friend and colleague, Philip Stanford, couldn't be here today, so I will take the role of introducing you to the final stages of the Vol engine integration. Before we get into that, however, we would like you to complete the testing station's exploration and enhancement capabilities. You'll then be able to begin researching the EVA airlock and assess its compatibility with the Tiqqun's core systems. I hope that the work of our team will ensure that you are equipped to deal with most situations you encounter up there. Before I leave you, Stanford would like me to remind you that space is a far less fanciful and forgiving environment than science fiction would have us believe. It would be wise to remember that.
Of course. Alright, so we have another objective, construct the Vol engine, which is important. So we want to have an airlock EVA, so we have the ability to actually go out and do things. So we also have some more alloy to collect. Let's go ahead and collect that. Make sure that we have all of this material come in as soon as possible. We have some more alloy over here to harvest. Let's go do that. Alright, so we I constructed a couple more of these buildings, these crew quarters, to make sure that we have everybody housed. And everybody should be okay. Let's see, they're all happy. They should be fine. Plus 10 from the almighty Dolos buff. Plus 1 for people living mostly in crew quarters. Plus 1 from hull integrity being over 25%. Trust is pretty high. Alright, now, as you can see, our energy supply is a bit low. We're sitting at 58 units out of 60. We only have 2 more available, which means anything else that we research at the moment is going to be in trouble. Or build, it's going to give us push us into a little bit of a tailspin problem. So we want to move out. We want to research, therefore, the EVA airlock. Let's go ahead and research that. And in the meantime, since we can't build anything else right now, we still have a little bit more food, so we can handle that. We do, of course, have the ability to produce food now. We have the insect farm. But the problem is that this thing takes 5 energy and we only have 2 available. So we can't build it. So what we can do is we can switch off a building, like a crew quarters over here, or an infirmary. And that will give us the power that we need to build 1 insect farm. Let's go ahead and put 1 down. The insect farm is important because this is the only building that currently gives us food at the moment. Eventually we will be able to construct way more efficient and way more practical buildings to give us food, but for now this will do. See, can I put you here? It doesn't you don't seem to fit perfectly right there. Let's put you there instead. Boom. Make a bit of a road there all the way to the back there. Perfect. All right, excellent. That will come eventually. We'll build that, and then we'll have food coming in, which is important. But we'll have no power to be able to do that. So let's wait until we have the EVA. In the meantime, let's go outside and let's move our little sensitive buddy over to Saturn. It's going to take 1.5 cycles. This is going to take 2.5 cycles because it has to go all the way around the sun. Go to Saturn. Let's go and check out what event is there. And let's also check out if we have anything over here. No, nothing else to collect here, so that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. We have enough resources coming in. I am going to go and try and get rid of some of these materials over here because we'll need the space. Excellent. It's going to come out fine. Alright, we have our insect farm coming up. It's being built. And eventually that will have that done as well. Let's go ahead and turn one of our workshops off. We only need 1 at the moment because we're not building like that much. We'll turn it back on again once we have a little bit of a construction sprint. But for the moment I need as much energy as I possibly can. As I can get. So right now health blah blah blah, no crew members are hurt or are dying, so I don't need to put I don't need to turn my infirmary on, so this is okay. We have the insect farm built. It produces 1 food a cycle, which isn't much, so eventually I'm gonna have to put an additional 2 or 3 of these up to make sure that we have enough food coming in to sustain us. And then once we have another sector available, we'll start specializing sectors. And specialization in sectors is important because it's not efficient to have every sector develop or build everything that only that sector needs. You want to be able to
A
start
science ship has arrived at its destination.
start exporting stuff to other sectors. But let's go ahead and put our EVA down. EVA airlock can only be built in sectors where there's actually space. So when you see these little red dots here, that means that there is no space. The sign, sector 1, we can't build over it, but we can build directly right next to it. So I'm going to go put this puppy right down here. Boom. It's a big EVA external airlock that we will need for all sorts of things. Let's go ahead and put this road down. Beautiful. Alright, that's good. Let's go start removing, start harvesting all this stuff. I need to get this removed so I have space for factories and for more buildings later on. But the EVA is important because that will actually give us the ability to start making some more power. I need more solar panels attached to the ship. And the EVA is the only way we can do that at the moment. Alright, excellent. This is all good. We're getting there, we're getting there. Let's go talk to our science ship. Let's see what they have. They have found a signature traced from the EKP system that's detected near Saturn. EKP technology is the exclusive property of Dolos, but records indicate that the company has not deployed any missions to the sector. The signature will soon enter the atmosphere of Saturn. Let's go ahead and send an investigative team to check out what's going on. Now this is part of the storyline. So somehow, a bit of very, very important Dolos technology was found all the way out here in Saturn, and we don't really know why or how come. It's not supposed to be there. So this is strange, right? So we don't like that. We don't like that kind of thing. So once the EVA output port is built, we can start building an additional solar panel out on the exterior of the ship, and we can start work on the Dolos Vol engine, which is important. But this puppy is going to take up a lot of power. As soon as it's active, it takes 12 energy, and then that's going to be way more than we can supply, and everything's going to shut down. So we'll just wait until it's completely built up. Let's see if we have anything to collect. No, I don't think anything is there. Let's also go and talk to the science ship. They must have something it's still coming in. It's still coming. 2.1 more cycles before that's done. This here requires one of my where is it? Oh, here you go. One of the little robots. He's building it. Good. It's going to take a little while. Everything else, we don't need to worry about anything else at the moment. We have an infirmary over here. We can turn it on if we have anybody sick. Nobody currently is in need of any assistance, so I'm pretty happy with that. Nobody's hurt, so there's nobody hurt. So we don't have to worry about that. Let's look at that. We have enough resources coming in. We still have a whole bunch of resources over here, so we can still build stuff. And we want to store as much of this material as we can. We don't want to use all of it up, because in the next part of the game, we want to be absolutely sure that we have everything we need to survive wherever we go towards or go to. Once we set up the Vol engine, we'll be launched into space and we'll be left to our own devices. And it's going to be pretty dangerous. Now let's go over the notifications. Notifications are important. They tell you what's happening outside in space or in the ship. You want to keep an eye on them. So right now, we got some cycles and stuff happening. We also have the question mark. This is a tutorial. Gives us control over, pretty much tells us everything we need to know about how to play the game, how to build stuff, how to use the minimap, storage, supplies, transportation, all this beautiful stuff. It's all going to be important for if you have any problems or come across any kind of thing that you don't know about. This is where you want to go into and check out. It gives you, it's a lot of information. The game does a good job on supplying you with that information. So you need that. You need that you need that stuff because eventually the game is going to start throwing things at you and you won't know what to do. So you'll go in there and you'll find a solution. Alright, our food supplies are dwindling fast. We are 12 out of 10. So I need to have this puppy built as soon as possible so we can get more energy in. I can of course turn more of these buildings off, but as soon as I turn a crew quarters that actually has crew in it off, that means those people will be homeless and they'll start complaining and my trust meter will go down. I'm currently sitting at 100%, so there we go.
Insufficient levels of electricity generation. Sector 1's power demand has overloaded. Stanford routines recommend that you construct an external solar panel to boost overall electrical output.
Alright, we'll get that done. Empower the Tiqqun. So let's just first turn this puppy off, so we'll get some power for the EVA. Now it's important that we have the hull continuously being repaired. So if we have a hull breach, we'll have trouble. So currently sitting the hull repair is deactivated, which is okay. Let's go out to the exterior of the ship and let's build ourselves a couple more solar panels. Let's go build you. Yes, I want to construct you, and I also want to construct you. Perfect. Now these solar panels will give us an additional 40 each, so we have two sets. One over here on solar panel set 1 is being constructed, as you can see is coming along nicely. And we have solar panel set 2 That's going to be constructed as soon as solar panel set 1 is built and set up. We also have the ability to finally start building the Vol engine. Let's go ahead and set that up. It's going to take 100 of our resources, so we'll definitely need more resources coming in, but we'll get that eventually. Let's check out what happened over here. A prototype rocket sent by the UN seems to use a variation of EKP. We have stripped it down and recovered schematics. We got 10 more data. Perfect. And we will need to get that data collected, and then we'll move on over to Mars and see what we can get there. Perfect. Everything seems to be going quite well. We also have, look over here. Yeah, fleet management. Is we have one ship moving around, it's a cargo ship doing its thing. We don't have the Vol engine yet. Once we have that set up, we can move that into orbit. All right, the sensitive is done. Let's go move you over to Mars. It's going to take 4 cycles. No worries, we have time. All right, so that's good. We are building the solar panels. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. We will have 40 more additional power, and then we can put everything back on again. Everything back on again. There we go. Look at that. Additional available is 43, so that means we can definitely go ahead and turn you back on, or turn you back on. Let's go turn the tech lab back on, and the infirmary, so we won't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and put down some more insect farms. Oh, wrong button. Insect farms, that won't fit there. And I don't think it fits there. Nope, it doesn't. So let's move this puppy over to here. Let's put that one you here and one more there. So those 2 will be built. Let's go ahead and power you up. So we'll have 2 of these construction puppies working at the same time. Let's also start harvesting you. Oh, I stopped harvesting for that for some reason. We're going to need a lot of alloy to build the Vol engine. We have 84, 70, 76. We have enough to build it, but it's going to take a lot. We'll need to have everything coming in that we will have to be able to complete that. And then once it's completed, we'll be able to move on out and into space. And then the rest of the game will open up. Alright, excellent. This is coming along nicely. We have some space over here. We could put down some more of these crew quarters, but right now it doesn't make any sense to do that because we don't have the crew. We have 98 workers. We're definitely dropping in population right there. We have 7 workers in space. They're doing the thing. And we're now working on the Vol engine. So we have 56 power available. All of that's being used, total capacity, in this one little sector that we have. And eventually, once we open up more sectors in the game, we will want to have more openings or more sectors where we have an EVA airlock, so that we can facilitate more EVAs at the same time and move more people outwards and get stuff done faster. Because right now, with only one EVA airlock, keeping the ship going is it's fine. It does its thing, but in events like serious structural damage and so on, we will need more space or more people outwards, more people out in space to fix things. Right now, this one EVA airlock is not enough, so we can build another one right there and get started on moving stuff out faster. But you have a limited amount of space. Okay, so like for instance over here, you can't build an airlock on this side, but you can on this side. So you want to be careful what you do with your space. We want to have, eventually, go to the tech lab here, we want to have the probe launcher. This will give us the ability to go and actually investigate mining resources and mining sites. So let's go and research that. So we'll have the ability to build that eventually. Our insect farms are up and running. Perfect. And we'll get those doing its thing. We'll have some more food coming in as soon as possible. Incoming transmission. Let's see what you have.
Administrator, because of your continued successful management of the Tiqqun, Dolos have authorized the dispatch of new crew members and food supplies.
Excellent.
Please
We got some more
ensure
crew.
that they have suitable accommodation once you reach Proxima Centauri.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's get some more people. Perfect. We got 100 more people and some more food. Let's go turn that off. We don't really need that. Can't get any iron anyway. So we'll get those people. We're going to get 100 more people, so that means we definitely need more housing. Let's go ahead and put some more of these crew quarters down. So there and there. And then as soon as we have this harvested.
A side ship has arrived at its destination.
Excellent. So we have Mars. Let's see what happened there. Units established a facility on Mars. Its crew are currently lacking the materials required to repair a critical fault in their oxygen supply. They have submitted an official request to Dolos for aid. So we have two options here. We can refuse the facility help. Space is a hostile place. We do not go there without knowing the consequences. Blah blah blah. We can repair the fault in exchange for research data, which is okay. That gives us. We'll have to spend 10 of our alloy, and then we might. 10 of our alloy and 10 of our own materials. In this case, alloy and plastics. To help them in exchange for research data, or we can repair the fault in exchange for resources, and we'll get 20 more. It'll cost us 20 iron. We might be 20 alloy, and we might be able to get some resources out of it. I'm thinking we should probably do that for the resources. I need the resources more than I need the research data at the moment, because we already have 38, and we are producing more research data as we go along. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. And let's get the Gruber up for repair. So it'll transport the 20 alloy to Mars and there fix everything for us. Perfect, that will get done eventually. Let's go back into the spaceship. Alright, perfect. So we have our little insect farms. There are people working in there, probably collecting worms and so on. I'm not quite sure what kind of an insect farm it is. It looks really green though. I'm not quite sure if I wanted to eat that stuff. Alright, look at our resources. We have 37, 35. I think we have enough to harvest all this material, get rid of all that. It's coming along nicely. Let's go put down one more house over here. I need one more there, and then we will have some more space. So we have 128, and oh shit, 67. Yeah, I know. So of that 128 population, let's see. We have. I think everybody should be. Yeah, everybody seems to be crewed nicely. I don't think I have a lack of space. I have some more space over here for additional crew members, and more crew members are coming in. We got 19 alloy over there, waiting for pickup, and we want 2 more alloy over here before we have the engine repaired completely. This is not really engine. This is require continuous supply of 2 alloy for the hull repair. So the hull integrity requires that we constantly basically just use up alloy for repairs. Right now it's requesting 2 alloy at a time, which of course we don't want to do that. We'll do that later on in time. We're sitting at 100%, 1,000 out of 1,000, so 100% capacity or 100% alloys hull integrity. So I don't really need to do anything there. So I'm pretty happy with that. Food's coming in. We are finally getting a little bit more food. 15. It seems to be growing. So I think that the 3 insect farms that we have currently is keeping us alive. I don't think we need to get any more. I'm going to go and remove this road all the way up to here. Boom, like that. And I am going to build my little probe launcher. Oh, ships. I don't think it will fit there. Oh, it does. It does fit. Alright, excellent. We'll be able to get the probe launcher built. Excellent. That will keep us, that will give us probes and give us the ability to actually start launching stuff into space. Start investigating stuff. How's Mars coming along? Our supply ship, the Gruber, is heading towards Mars, and we'll reach there in 2 more cycles, and then we will be able to complete that mission as well. Alright, we have remaining workers. As soon as the supply ship is finished with the deployment of that 20 alloy, we have to get a couple more workers. So we have this baby over here is empty. Let's see, how many space do we have? Let's go turn this building on as well. Excellent. Let's go and collect this last little bit of alloy. They're still building the probe launcher. Once the probe launcher is finished, they should be able to collect this last little bit of alloys. Alright, now we got a little bit of an issue here. Can't really do anything. We have the tier 2 is available. We have the battery. We have alternative life center, cryogenic center, all good stuff. Alright, we don't need to do this. We have polymer refinery.
The ship team has completed a task.
Oh, well, thank you. We have the steel mill and we have the electronics factory. We'll build those in the next episode. But right now, we just want to get Mars completed, and we want to have this little quest done. Oxygen supply system has been repaired, and relations between Dolos and your competitor has improved by 36%. Perfect. We got some more Extraction material, there we go. We can get that. Let's go ahead and put that down. I want this this resource collected. This plastic is kind of important. We don't have a lot of it, and it is very vital for probes. Basically, probes take plastics to write this stuff here. So polymer to actually get built and constructed and so on. So we need that. Alright, this is coming along nicely. I might need to move my insect farm out of this little spot and put it here. Let's go ahead and put this one. Let's build another one over here, just because I want to. Alright, it's all good. I can't use up too much of my space because the factories that we are going to be researching later on in the game, these puppies over here, steel mill, polymer refinery, and electronics factory, are massive buildings that take up a lot of space. And we will be able to open up another sector, of course. It's currently locked, but once we actually I have the ability to open it up, we'll be able to move out. But until then, we will have a space dilemma that we'll have to solve. And let's go ahead and put down a couple more. I need to get this little road here needs to go. And that will give us the ability to put a couple more of these buildings down. Boom, boom. Build some more roads all the way down to there. Excellent. And then we'll build some more housing. There we go. Perfect. Hull integrity is still 100%. Power is available as 41. Should be enough. And then with these 4 additional buildings, we should have enough space to house everybody that's coming in. Still need to get 70 more personnel, pushing us up to 190 personnel. And this should be fine to house them all. We still also have a couple of these crew quarters over here that are empty. So I'm pretty sure that we have enough space. We have 6 buildings available for just 70 people. So that'll be fine. This is 60 here collectively. So we'll be okay. Alright, let's just see what we can do. I need to move the sensitivity, or sensitive, back home. Let's move to the moon. Because once we have the ability to use the Vol engine, we will only be able to do that from the moon, because it's going to take, we have to get to the moon for a departure point. But we also need to be, we can only move or leave once we have all the ships hangared or put into the ship itself. So we can't leave until then. Let's go put this little bit of road here, close it off. Boom, there we go. Everybody has space. We got 158, 60 people out of 100, 40 more to go, and then we'll be able to go. Let's go ahead and speed this up a bit. 90. Everybody should have space. They should have the ability to move into one of these crew quarters immediately. Alright, there we go. That's done. Let's go check the transmission.
The different phases of preparation, calibration, and verification were successfully completed. You must now start the Vol bonding procedure. Dolos protocols now deem you competent to gather resources, knowledge, and test colonization routines once you reach Proxima Centauri. Before
Excellent.
you do so, Vanir Dolos, Marduk Council founder and Dolos CEO, wants to talk to you.
Alright, well, let's first move the massive ship that we are into Moon Space Station, space orbit. Okay, while this is moving, you'll see that we have no power down here to do anything. This is pretty much set to a standstill. There's no power. All power is sent to the engines. Once we research batteries tier 1, it stores 100 power, allowing buildings in the same sector to continue operating in defensive travel or overload. Then we'll be able to actually do stuff while we are in transit. But we have reached the moon. I think, no, we are actually just still gliding on our way to the moon. Look at this beautiful sight. We're getting into orbit around the moon. And once we are there, everything else should be started. And we are ready to go ahead and actually activate the engine. Disable destinations unknown. We will wait until we have the transmission set up from...
Administrator. I'm glad to see that you have managed to complete your assignments in preparation for this unique moment in history. You must understand that this is not simply another chapter in humanity's story. The book of our life on Earth is over, and we stand now at its epilogue. It saddens me to think that there are many who have yet to comprehend the reality of our situation. We've endured endless cycles of war, crisis, and famine. Still, the worst is yet to come. There are others like Dolos who have prepared for this outcome, but most of our kind remain sheltered from the horror of the predicament we find ourselves in. This pale ghost of civilization will wither and die, and with it, the tenets and values of the past. As we prepare to leave this system for the first time, perhaps we must decide which fragments we will pick up and take forward with us. Through Dolos, I am offering mankind an alternative means of survival. The Tiqqun is a tablet upon which we will carve our new history. Do you recognize why I have done all of this? Having foreseen our fate, I became fixated on altering it. I set about fashioning the ropes and tying the knots that would bind together this magnificent ship. It is true that our time in this world is brief, but at least I can rest assured knowing that my legacy will endure for eons. Farewell, Administrator. For the few who stand in the light and the many who dwell in the dark, you carry the fate of us all.
Well, that's great. Alright, let's see what our fleet is doing. See where our fleet is heading. Making sure that we have all the resources. What are you carrying? You're carrying 20 polymers. We pretty much have all of our resources now completely finished. We have 9 alloy remaining. That's it, basically. And we don't have anything else in stock. So we could go ahead and start researching some of the alternative stuff. So the steel mill and so on. That we will definitely need, but we need 45 research points for that, and we don't have that at the moment, so we'll have to wait. And we also have we only have 9 alloy left, so we'll need to let's just leave that for now and see what happens. We have 1 probe available. We will launch that in the next episode, but for now this is it. We have reached our destination. We are in orbit on the moon. My crew is starving for some reason. Not quite sure why. It's probably because the game is in standby and hold until this ship is in. Look at that. We have the last of the Grubers coming in. Sensitive is coming in. Perfect. Let's go ahead and activate our engine. All power from the main grid will be diverted to the engine during the 0.5 cycle charge. Preceding ignition sectors will be powered by batteries during this time. Cannot be interrupted or cancelled. Okay, let's go ahead and set up.
In accordance with Ralph Stanford procedures, all ships must return to the Tiqqun before volt jump initiation.
Let's get this done. So it's currently charging. And then eventually, once it's completely charged, this puppy will launch into space, and we can begin our little adventure. So,
Full engine ready.
alright, let's commence the jump.
The Earth. our home. She is unique. Held in its bosom are the ingredients of evolution. Beyond raw survival, beyond the safety of comfort, we, humanity, pursue something greater. We have learnt, persevered, shaped our knowledge from that which is found in the furthest realms of science. However, humanity has brought destruction to the earth, polluted its blood, choked its breath. Today we are paying the price for this. We know the taste of a dying world. But the earth is not to be our grave. A mother does not wish to see her children disappear with her. She wishes to see instead courage in her children, to carry on. Dolos carries this courage. We have gone further than any nation, moved faster than any corporation, hand in hand with those who, like us, carry that courage. The Tiqqun Station is both an epilogue of these endeavors and a prologue to humanity's next steps. Our Council of Scientists leads the vanguard. They know, as do we all, that the survival of humanity now depends on what we glimpse out there in the dark. That we are masters of our own destiny. That we must go as a species bound together, pushing further into the unknown. We set sail on this new sea because there is hope to be found, horizons to explore, and because our very existence depends on it. I give you the stars. I give you the full engine.
Full jump complete. Running preliminary diagnostics. Several anomalies detected. Multiple digital security breaches found within full jump routines. Full engine critically damaged. Hull integrity compromised. Analysis confirms discrepancies between the mission clock and the apparent advanced state of the solar system. We are receiving no communication signals from Earth. Likelihood of ongoing survival stands at approximately 7.67%. Activating Marduk survival protocols. New mission objective established. Ensure humanity's survival by finding a habitable exoplanet. Urgent issues requiring immediate attention. Increase food production output. Restore hull integrity.
All right.
Administrator,
That's it for this episode.
awaits your attention.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. It's fine. I will see you guys in the next one. We will continue this in the next episode. Bye-bye.